Welcome back to Pittsburgh Her. It's a podcast collaboration between Jagoff Media and Pittsburgh Magazine. And these are the 4 amazing women who I get to talk to a couple times a month. I haven't seen you ladies in a while, so I'm glad to welcome you back. But this is part 2 of Bria's party. And you see that there's like some balloons. We do have flowers and everything because you recently celebrated your baby shower and bridal. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Engagement. Yeah. I was going with the alliteration. That's why I went with bridal, but then it didn't go anywhere. So thanks for cutting me off and telling me what I did wrong, sir.
Always here.
I know you're really good at that. Anyway, right. Wow. So you already know, hopefully by this point, you know that we love to talk about all things that are women related topics, but we thought this being a part 2, we talked a lot about etiquette and traditions in terms of preparing for babies or preparing for the shower and things of that nature. So we thought in this episode, we would get more into some questions medically because we're always asking for a friend.
Yes.
And Jocelyn is so in. But before that, we always like to have just a brief casual conversation. And I just think that we would, kick ourselves if we got through June. This is when we are recording, and not talk about the importance of pride and how we can be supportive and what we thought about it. Because in my world, my friends said that this was the absolute, at least in Pittsburgh, best Pride parade they've attended like in Pittsburgh history.
It seemed like it.
And
it looked like
it felt so good to hear that. We were not able to attend because of a commitment. But we actually interviewed Q-Burg's Jeff Friedman, who was I kept calling him the Grand Poobah, and he's like, it's actually Grand Marshal, but if you want to call me the Grand Poobah, it's fine. I like that.
Sarah,
he was right. No, he was laughing. He was like, I like that. He said, and listen, I'm going to throw extra glitter at you if you tell me. I was glad to hear that I was okay with that. But I think it was really refreshing to hear that people who maybe were a little disappointed in how certain things, at least in our city, were in years past, in terms of how people were preparing and maybe the execution or received, like both ends, like the people who attended, but also the people who were marching. And they just said it was lovely to see families and community and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that was the case, but it was good to hear.
Yeah, I marched in the parade with the Cultural Trust. We had a little group, and and Alex, my youngest, came with me. He got to ride a golf cart, so that was very exciting. But yeah, it was like the crowds were good. The celebration at the end was really fun. Trying to explaining to a 6-year-old what pride is complicated. In like the best way possible. I was like, good, I never want you to have to understand why we have to celebrate people who are different and why we have to. But unfortunately, there were some people there protesting, and so there was some times to illustrate that like some people still disagree with this, and I failed at articulating why because I think it's nonsense, but. We loved Pride. It was super fun. There was so much glitter. It's still everywhere. Yeah.
As there should be.
Cool.
As there should be.
For the whole month.
Right. Did you guys do anything in particular or support?
Normally I do go. You're right that like a few years ago I walked in the parade and it was not fun. I showed up with like my flag and my like rainbow jumpsuit, like all excited because like I had lived in DC for 3, like Pride in DC is
huge,
incredible. It's like
pretty great.
Out of body experience, and then came back to Pittsburgh, and then it was like COVID, so it didn't really happen. And then so it was kind of like the first Pride I think after COVID, and it really was like I think some things had happened with the organization,
right,
and there were just no guardrails, like literally or figuratively, and it was kind of really hostile and not fun.
Right.
There was like no water. I don't know. It was just not a good time. But I've heard the same thing that this year was amazing. It's like everything Pride should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always just felt like as an ally, like so safe and it's so much fun. Like my best friends are like all gay men.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would do without them. And I just, I don't know.
That's great.
I try to support them.
I'm glad to hear
every
that
day.
Right. That's
I mean, I remember, as to your point, like my dad took me to Pride for the first time, and I think I was like 7 or 8 in Mellon Park, and I like was a little confused, but mostly I was just like, "What is this rainbow festival?"
Yes, I love.
Take like a 7-year-old girl to a rainbow festival. I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever done." Also, I was like, Daddy, why are those men dressed like women? But like in a good way.
In a good way.
Because like some people dress up, and I was like, great, I love to dress up.
Yes.
Right.
So it's good times.
Right. Christy, Bria, who's going next?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. There's two of you.
No, I didn't actually go just because I'm trying to protect myself from large crowds right now. But I did see, everything on social media. I have so many friends as an ally. I really wanted to be there. And it looked really fun. The floats looked really cool this year. Yeah. I feel like they also said this was the biggest year, like that brought in the most crowds.
Attendance,
the attendance was like one of the biggest years. So that would have been really cool to just be a part of. Mm-hmm. So, and they had a little Mo performing, and she back in the day like sang a bunch of stuff. Like it's just I would have went. So I'm jealous.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
FOMO.
I like to protect myself from crowds too, so I don't.
Do you?
That's it. I'm very low key, but I mean, this year it seems, I know in years prior, like every company was like, rainbows in your face, and look at this thing that we have, and it's rainbow, so you're gay and you need to eat it.
Yeah.
Eat my rainbow.
Everything this year, not everything, but I think it seems more sincere when it's coming from like local businesses around. It's not like a thing to
corporate pride.
To generate money. It's like, we're here for you, and we're a safe space because you're not really sure anymore. Safe space, like, one of my favorite spaces in Pittsburgh is Trace Brewing.
Yes.
I love them. They've always been
them.
this a very welcoming, inclusive, all different kinds of people walk through that door. They opened on my birthday. Can sales, but I just love the space and what they do.
Sure.
So I feel good going there.
That's awesome.
I'll probably go.
That's
there
good to hear.
after.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Trace.
For
my favorite
really
businesses
doing it in a really good and in a positive way.
Awesome.
They're a really well-run business too.
They are just
And their beer's delicious.
Their beer's good. The food trucks
I've been
outside.
there.
they have other things.
I know they do. I like it.
Yes, their like programming is good.
I performed with Trace and at Trace so many times. They always hire great DJs. They're so supportive to the music community too.
Yes.
Like they just
big party underneath the Bloomfield Bridge a couple weeks ago.
Slappers and bangers.
Adam Sorma is just on it. He is just the best.
Adam's great.
Everyone there is just I legitimately love them. So
awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So, not that I want to hurry off from Pride, because again, whoever said, you should be supporting all the time, just like any celebration, it should be not just because it's the month for Pride. So, but our topic is actually Bria part 2. Bria.
Crazy.
This is all we do.
This is the overwhelming part.
Stop looking at me.
I would like to be clear that there's a lot of things about you that are very interesting.
Thank you.
That are unrelated to the fact that you're now pregnant.
Yes.
Thank you,
we
Jocelyn.
need a Bria part 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, man. I just
Really think about you,
guys.
not that you're pregnant.
Thank
respectfully.
There's gonna be a Bria part 3, as she said. So there you go. So I apologize. It's in honor of the baby, but of course we would celebrate you
Thank
nonstop.
you.
We know that we have a birthday that we're going to be celebrating as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, Jocelyn went first before, but I'm sure you have so many questions in terms of not being ready to have this baby yet, and there's so much uncertainty. And Sarah and I have had this conversation as usual, where you having 3 kids each, you had people, and Christy, I don't remember if we talked about this, but you've had people who go, oh, it's the worst thing you ever go through, and you're like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah.
And so you're like, note to self, I'm not going to do that. However, if you have a specific question, I will honestly answer you. That's sort of the manner in which I operate. Because my situation is going to be completely different than yours. So why would I start off with a negative, or the other way? Why would I start off with a positive? It's, what are your questions, right?
Yeah.
So have you experienced that from like one extreme to another?
For sure. I've definitely had people come to me like, oh, good luck, girl. Or, just like, it was, or even just due to like the actual birth, people are like, oh, well, my birth was just horrible. It was the longest, most
And don't you want to be
treacherous.
like, I didn't ask you.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that was yours.
Yeah.
You're trying to like put your pain onto me. Like, don't give me that. And hopefully mine isn't going to be like that. But if people have like projected what their experience is or was onto me, or like tried to, and I'm just like, mine's going to be what it is. Like I'm having my own experience. birthing and as a parent, like, and I feel like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. It's my first one.
Yeah.
However, I am the oldest though, so I know what it's like to have children in my life. So I'm not just like out here oblivious. Like I've changed diapers before, and I feel like it's not going to be a horrible experience. And I have a great partner. Some people didn't have a good partner or didn't have a partner at all. So I feel like I've gotten blessed with a lot of things that are going to help my process.
Yeah.
And I got a doula, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just got one. And she's wonderful. She is really knowledgeable and helps me with all my questions that I have, because I just have no idea what to expect at this point. So I'm like thinking about when I should start hitting you up.
Anytime.
Just like the questions are so real about the birth. I'm like, I don't know what to expect.
And maybe it's not your time. Is that not fair to also, right? There's different times for people when they're ready to even ask certain questions.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just wish that was something that in general people talked about more. So like you don't like scramble to try to figure it out and like have your wheels spin in your head when you're pregnant. Like if we just sort of talked about pregnancy and birth, the good things and the bad things about it, it would be a lot less weird and overwhelming. It's like a thing that a lot of people do. Yeah. And it is scary and it's very risky.
Yeah.
But also sometimes it goes really well and like you want to be in a safe environment, like with people you trust. But I don't know, there's a lot of realities. Even like my sisters, I prepared them so much. They were like, Jocelyn, shut up. I was like, let me tell you about like all these things.
That's good though.
That can happen.
People don't have that. That's good.
I mean, it's kind of good, but then there were even things like my sister was in Philly and like they'd started her induction and I was driving to like get there. I often like worm my way into these delivery rooms and places I don't work. I become the doula. They usually have policies where it's like you can have like basically the husband, the woman's mom or whoever, and like a doula. I'm like, oh, I'm the doula.
Right.
I was my sister-in-law's doula at West Penn, and the OB-GYN who like knew me kind of, she's like, we have a very overqualified doula today.
Right.
I'm here to make sure that this ship runs.
There you go.
But there's still things.
So is that your way of telling Bria, like you may be like, hey,
I'm there.
I would not be mad at that.
I would never mess with like an actual doula. But I don't know, there's just so many things that like you could never possibly prepare people for. And I feel like people understandably try to control the situation by making a birth plan. And I think that you can, the joke in OB-GYN, I hate to say it, is like the longer your birth plan, the longer your C-section scarred. Like it's not going to go well for you. It's, I mean, and like you just kind of need to be open to like a series of unknowns.
Right.
That's what my doula told me.
Sometimes it is traumatic and sometimes it goes really well and sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. But message me anytime.
Well, I was going to say, Christy, I think we're from the same, only because from an age perspective of children, that we were part of the what to expect when expecting. And then like the book ended and you were like, and then what?
The book I had, I got it secondhand. It smelled like cigarettes.
My mom tried to give me that book.
Then maybe it's updated.
No, she tried to give me her book from when she was pregnant, you know, with my younger siblings. And I'm like, I don't want that book. Like I literally have Google now. The internet, Instagram, like I can find out whatever's in that book, I'll be fine.
I think it's not good to be blissfully ignorant. Like
I agree. I don't like that.
Everything's gonna go just like me. I took classes. I'm like, well, I took classes. I took breastfeeding classes. I did all this to labor classes, everything. I had a C-section. So I didn't know that I was going to do that until 2 days before it happened. So it's something that you want to be positive and definitely do that, but also know like, you know, things might happen that you weren't prepared for and just be prepared to change.
Babies will baby.
Babies
control the baby. But there are some things that I do think people should know that you sort of can control. And I don't want to like derail the convo, but like for example, operative delivery, like vacuum and forceps. Most people don't know that like there are very few OBGYNs on this earth who would allow forceps to be placed on their body, but like they'll do it. I mean, there are emergencies where they're needed, but like the risks of that instrumentation is not appropriately shared with women. And I mean, obviously I'm a pelvic floor surgeon, so like when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. I see all the worst cases, but I mean, those are like big metal spoon blades that get like put on your pelvic floor. And if you can avoid that at all costs, I mean, I would. That's like the first thing I tell people. I'm like, I would not let my sisters consent to forceps. I was like, vaginal delivery or a C-section.
Vacuum?
A vacuum is better.
Right.
Vacuum has been shown to be better, but forceps like rip up your body.
I had one. I know.
My mom had them too. And sometimes you heal and it's fine. And
Being a woman is crazy.
The pelvic floor is a miracle, but forceps are really brutal.
Yep.
And people do not explain to women like how brutal they can be.
So much so, and I can only speak for mine. Yeah. And I had her on as a guest once and was like, I have 700 things I'm going to try to squeeze in here. But my experience was had it, and then it was like time for the next baby, and they were like, oh, you have to have a C-section. I was like, why? Because you're completely ruined.
Wow.
And it was this, I have very ongoing issues with why did that happen? And why didn't I ask enough questions? Because
but it's not on you.
Right,
it's on,
right.
And it's very much a thing there is this paternalism in OB-GYN where this is an ongoing controversy in my specialty in OB-GYN because the high-risk OBs don't want urogyns like me scaring women or telling them, so if we need to use forceps, we're going to use them. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Right.
Women are allowed to decide, if they're okay with this, and you don't need to decide it for them and just consent them in the moment when it's an emergency. They deserve to know ahead of time. And there actually is research that shows that reviewing those risks decreases, not increases, anxiety, because then you know that there is a specialist that you could come see. Now we have a specialist clinic at McGee for women who've had forceps and bad deliveries or bad tears. You get referred right away. You go see someone within 2 weeks for very close follow-up, and then we counsel you. So I always joke, I'm like, the reason people don't know urogynecologists exist is because we'd have to admit to women up front why we exist.
Yeah.
And in doing so, would have to admit that birth is traumatic. So anyway, forceps are one of those things I think we do a terrible job of giving women information up front.
Right. I mean, but it's again, wild. From research and people like you who are willing to step forth, because I think there was a time where, again, you just accepted what was. And I hate saying that, but
my
again,
mom did.
Yeah, my mom too.
Because you didn't know how to. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Now by my second one, when that happened, I had so many other questions because I really did not want a C-section.
Yeah.
And by my third, they agreed to allow a potential VBAC, which did not happen.
Okay.
I think it was sure, and it didn't go down. But
yeah, there's a lot. And and then you're just what is true and what is
right, what's true?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. What's the most frequently asked question that you get from when people find out what line of business you're in, even though it's obviously not the same?
I mean, first of all, I ask what that is, and then I explain, and they're like, how does that happen? And then I explain that childbirth is mostly the reason that women get prolapse and incontinence. But I don't know, they usually have a lot of questions, or they start telling me their birth story right away. And I'm like, oh. If I at a party, I'm like, oh, I deal with traumatic birth and things. They're like, oh, let me tell you.
Yeah. Okay, about mine.
Ow.
Yeah.
This is a party.
All the time.
Guys, pro tip, don't do that.
You put a glass of wine in someone who has truly had a lot of questions for a long time, and suddenly you are there to answer them, and they're going to ask.
I bet. Yeah.
So.
Let's just answer them when they're sober. Ahead of time for all the people, and then Jocelyn can just go to parties and have fun.
That would be nice.
How do you not listen to this and be like, I want Jocelyn to answer every question? I think they're gonna just elbow the rest of it. Great podcast, Jocelyn. Question for you.
You mean like a Santa Claus.
Might as well
chair.
put
Everyone sits on your knee.
Put your email in the link.
Question.
Give them a pacifier.
A little pee pad on your lap.
I will need a pee pad.
You will.
Yeah. It is so true. And honestly, we've been asked, I know Christy and I talked about this at the party, that we're asked a lot about menopause because we talk about it a lot. And I think that's something that, in future episodes, not when we're celebrating Bria, maybe the Thria of Bria will be when she's
Thria of Bria. That's funny.
I feel like it's the same symptoms.
Pelvic floor therapy in that episode and how you're going to go to it after you have this baby.
I'm learning about that now.
Yes, you're going to go.
Yeah, the party, the pelvic floor is lava, and just DJ into it.
Yeah, especially when it comes to peeing a lot.
Yeah,
I'm learning. Yeah.
Yep. Don't you worry. We'll take good care of you.
There you go. So any questions that you may have, we want to yield them. We want to hear more from you, and we want to discuss the things that you want to discuss. But in the meantime, Sarah, do you have a woman-owned business or a recently met woman or any shout out that you would like to give today?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I'm dying though.
No, do it, Jocelyn.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's your back pocket?
Well, there is a women-owned gym that opened on the south side near my house called,
Tell me more.
I think, Active on 14th.
Okay.
And I feel really bad that I'm forgetting the woman's name who owns it, but I went and worked out with her last week and just to scope the scene. And she just like has a lot of women like doing all sorts of, and she walks around and like does little stations and tells you what to do. And she's very cool. That's all.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, but those are the kinds of things
and it's very like
you wanna
approachable and affordable, and it has like a sort of open garage door, and it's like tucked by the Starbucks on Carson Street, like back on 14th.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so it's her gym and she owns it, and
I love that.
I had such a nice experience. I hope she does well. I feel bad I forgot her name.
Yeah.
We'll find it. We'll put it in the show notes.
We're putting it in the show notes. There you go. Sarah's just she's throwing stuff out. Well, I'd like you to look at your little package. There's your package. Maria's is different because it's her special day. And hers are just a marshmallow bouquet. But listen, this is a woman-owned business, and so her name is Casey Daly, and she started Sweet Florence after her daughter. And I love that she created these individual little, I think it's lovelies that are different flavor infused. Yeah, so these are s'mores kits, but she sometimes will just do marshmallows like Bria's. And it might be orange flavored or pecan flavored or maple or there's a bourbon.
Flavors.
Yum.
Yes.
These are going to ruin Peeps for us, aren't they?
Yes, because I hate Peeps. I hate them. And they just leave that sugary residue. But these are really good and they're packaged so eloquently. And what I love is she's a person who, she had a very prominent career in New York as an actress. And she came back to Pittsburgh and was like reinventing herself as a new mom and said like, what do I want to do? And she does have a theater that she works with, but she wanted to do more of a woman-owned pop-up. And so she's starting to do like Christy Sauer, Strawberry Pretzel, yes.
Block at Northway.
In the Block at Northway, yeah. So she's doing a lot of the like I Made It Market kind of things. And, kudos to her to keep it up. So follow her if you can, because I think it's just a great little thing who would have thought a marshmallow, what it could become.
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously a homemade marshmallow. They are
right. Love it.
Different.
There you go. And right in the food editor's hands. Phew.
Yes.
Anyway, it was awesome to be with you guys again. I really did miss seeing you all. Hopefully we continue to get people to add to our Magnolia Bowl. The boring part is that when we come back, we will not have Bria to celebrate, so we'll need another reason.
We have so many other things to celebrate. We have so many other
So until next time, thank you so much for joining us on Pittsburgh Her. We love hearing your feedback, but more importantly, we want you to go watch these on YouTube, on the websites of Jagoff or Pittsburgh Magazine, or wherever you get podcasts, you can listen as well every second Tuesday. Is that how we're saying that? Twice a month. Thanks.
See you next Tuesday.
Hey.